start back up here with white. Get the scores here. Moving along on that. Let me get a 9. This right there. That. Just working our way around. Okay. So, not a lot we can do with that. Any trades likely? I know there's a lot of grain sitting over here. I don't think I can get it with anything reasonable. So we'll just sit and see what happens. And another 9. Some numbers come up, some numbers don't. It's the way of this game, and it's I forgot iron on that 9 last time. Yeah, there seem to be a lot of 9s actually on the board. What's he sitting on? Alright, I got lots of stuff there. And if I could get a couple of grain, that would be great. I don't think I can dislodge 2 grain. He's not willing to give his up for anything. He's only got 1 to spare. However, I'm close and need to do some trash compacting. So 4 of these get me a grain. Now the problem is I'm at 7. I'm likely to be gaining more. Could I have gotten a wood? Could I do anything useful with it? Not really. Go over here. 5. And yeah, it's not the greatest game in the world to play solo. It's kind of exciting at first, and honestly I feel the same way about it in general. Get an iron to replenish the iron we lost. Wood here. It's not a bad system, but it's really hard to really want to do it. Well, one of the things about going the city route is that sometimes you have to, and I don't feel like I've done that in this game, but as you pursue the city route, you start producing more and more city stuff, and that makes it harder to keep pushing on in other directions. But I'll spend these and get myself another city. And where do I want this? Well, I feel like wood and clay are my weaknesses. Now I already have a big clay, so I'll put that there. That should be good enough. Do I want to try to trade away my grain, get something while it's valuable or something? I don't know. I'd rather wait until somebody is begging me for it. I haven't seen a 6 in a while. And that should be all of them? No, we got this one too. And yeah, as you start getting that city advantage, and you just start producing more. That's over here on blue. Alright. Well, blue is in a position where they need clay. And I have not much I can offer for it. Again, I can't afford to give up my grain. So I may do a 4-to-1 trade for clay. Unless somebody, well, he might be willing. He's low on that. How about 2 clay, or 2 wood for 1 of your clay? You willing to do that, man? You're low on wood. 3 wood for 1 of your clay? Ah, jeez, what the hell? I don't buy that. I don't buy that refusal at all. I just don't. And being too picky on my trade chances, doing it like I would with civilization, where, yeah, it's good for both of us, but come on, man. That was probably 3 wood for 2 clay would be a fair deal, but whatever, he managed to hold out. I don't know. I could buy a card. Again, I don't want to expend my grain. Grain is too valuable to me. I'm not really heading towards more grain, which is problematic. 9s. We see a lot of 9s. Red is here. Okay. No. I'm not able to read anymore. Gets a sheepy. White gets a sheepy. I think that's it. Lots of stuff. No grain. And while I could trade in a bunch of sheep for grain, I do know that there's someone who has grain, and they're not terribly opposed to me. You know, no real fear there. So let's look at what we need to do. We could start carving our way down here, which would be a wood and a clay. Granted, I'm doing this out of turn, but it makes it easier for me to think if I start spending some of my stuff. Oh wait, now I need grain. I want to give wood for grain. 2 for 1 is usually the deal. Oh, he doesn't have sheep. Wait, I want to give sheep for grain. You willing to do 2 for 1, sheep for grain? Probably. Sure. Sounds like a deal. And that gives me enough stuff to build a village, because it takes a village. Put one down here. It's on a wood port. That's nice. Let me make sure I got my points right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. The chart not having a 1, I don't know if it's possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should be at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I missed one there. Nobody's got any special bonuses yet. Red is at 3. Blue is at 3. They're both falling behind badly. I don't see much else I can do here. I could build another road and just keep cranking that wood out. It's a good idea to spend your resources. I know it may not seem it, but because you're avoiding the robber, essentially. Okay, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the longest road, which will give him 2 victory points and put him in the lead. Oh, hi. Which will put him in the lead there for at least now. Now, I have built all my villages. At this point, I cannot build any more villages, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to get the grain and rock, well, war, in order to build, because this is technically called rock in this. I don't know. To me, it's clay, man. And that's rock. Okay. A 10. We haven't seen a 10 in all game, damn near. All right. Are there any 10s other than this? Yeah. There's a wood there. We want to make sure to give these out first to make decisions on what we're going to take there. So, yeah, this is hard because we need rock and grain. We have a rock. We'll take a grain, but we really need a bigger production of both, and we don't produce either in quantity. So it's kind of hard. It's like, I need 2 more grain and 2 more rock. How am I going to get there? Luckily, I have wood port. I can trade wood at 2 for 1 for whatever I like. And I'm in a world where a good deal of wood is being produced. This guy gets 2, and we got to think about him. Among other things, he gets to produce this turn. So what does he need to do? Well, we had a 10. Gets a grain. I didn't see that. Okay. I don't think I gave this out either. That's 3 wood to orange. And 1 to blue. Okay. Alrighty. And so we have enough to build a city at this point. A city is a good thing. City is a very good thing. Now, technically, I should put it here because, you know, that gets almost as good a set of numbers, and it has this variability. But honestly, the 10s just aren't coming up. So I think what I'm going to be doing is building a city here. What else do I need to do? I am somehow short on wood. What is this stuff? Clay. Clay port. Okay. So, what do we want to do? Do we just take some wood? If we're not going to produce it. I mean, we should be producing wood in reasonable numbers. 8s haven't been coming up recently. Well, we'll definitely take 1 wood. We have 1 other card we can grab. And I mean, rock looks like the hardest thing for me to get. So I am going to grab a rock. I'm going to trade. I don't really need a rock, but I'll trade 3 rock. I may have gotten it out of trade. 3 rock and 2 grain in to build a city, and I'm going to build it here because this is almost as good. It produces grain on a 10, which is probably what I want there. Although honestly, I probably want rock, but I don't know. But it gives me the wood. It gives me the sheep. It's the only place I get sheep. So given how the dice have been rolling, I'm going to choose that. Now, I don't have a whole hell of a lot else, but I would like to get rid of something. I don't know what. Do I want a card? Not particularly. This guy should be considering a card. He's got the damn robber sitting on him. If I build a road, where would I build it? Clayport's a possibility, but I don't really produce that much clay. There aren't a lot of other places for me. I'm gonna head down this way because I'm having trouble finding places that I can put things. See, like if I go here, well, yeah. Do we really want to increase our grain production that much? Maybe. Because it's rock and grain, and that is about as good. This is about the best position I can get to. So we'll start building for that. What about this? I produce wood. Wood hasn't been showing up. I produce grain, sheep, clay. I make a little bit of everything. I would like to get rid of these sheep. They are not doing me much good. Now, if I could trade a couple of them off, if anybody wanted sheep, but nobody really does. So I'm going to trade my sheep in. They're not trivial for me to get, but they're not that hard, 9 and 10. I'm going to trade my sheep in for another metal, because metal is not trivial for me to get. And I'll pass the dice over. And we get the magic 10 again. Now it's starting to come up all the time. I think the dice just are weird in this game, that's all. These light wooden dice, like, they don't roll very hard, and they seem to stick to the same kind of numbers. And it's not like, I'm rolling 2 dice. They should jumble around a fair amount. Okay, let's look at 10s. Starting up here, I guess. Your production eventually gets high enough. We got to worry about that last. 2 grain for him. That's pretty nice. 3 woods for orange. Jesus. And a wood for blue. A wood for white. I think I did this one already. I didn't do that one. Alright, let's look at what white wants. White does not produce much. They produce much sheep. They have much wood. They don't produce a whole hell of a lot of either metal or grain. But they have no clay. I'll take the metal and hope that I can get clay. It looks to me like the grain is starting to flow. And now red gets 2. Well, do we just want to acidify, or do we have other plans in mind? I think I'd rather squat on improving. Well, wait, 1 metal for my city. What am I having trouble getting? I should have trouble getting clay. So I'm going to grab a clay, because I should be able to get wood more easily than clay. Sheep, I don't think I really need that badly right now. Okay. That puts me over here. What can he build? Well, he has no metal. He has tons of wood. Unlikely to connect his 2 possessions. I have room to get down here and start building those. I don't remember what they cost. Those cost a stone and a clay. And I probably want to get one of them. So, let's do a wood and a clay. And build this road here. Then I will build my village, and we're right away doing the this is no longer regular Catan. I've hit something else, right? Now, I say a stone and a clay. It's going to cost me 4 to build that clay. I could build a city for that. I think I would rather build the city right now. Actually, I can do both. 4 No, because I won't have the stone anymore. So yeah, this is the thing. Do I want the 2-for-1 trade right now? Which is a pretty awesome thing to have. Or did I want the town down here instead? I mean, if I'm not going to build this, why don't I do this instead? Which makes more sense. And then I will extend this to get me a stone and build a city instead of a town. Where do I put that city? I think stone is important. This is stone and clay. That's what we're going to work towards. Okay, well, let's count our points because I think I missed a point. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Nope, I only missed one. And then we move up to blue. And that was without trading to anyone. I could have traded some of that wood probably. He probably would have given me a 2-for-1. Oh well. I mean, I'm in the lead, so one of the things that you can do in this game is just embargo someone when they're in the lead. And another 10. Now they're just coming up all the time. 8. Leave that be. Grains producing heavily because 10s are coming out. A forest here, a ton of wood for him. Another wood here, and now white gets to pick one. What am I short on? I am short on clay, of all things. I'm not going to be able to get a lot of clay. Yeah, I don't know whether to take a metal, a grain, or what I don't have, which is a clay. I'll take the clay because I can always build a road with that. The other ones require me to keep doing other things. And then over here, what does he want 2 of? Well, I can build cities and stuff real easily. Orange is not having an easy time. I'm going to need a wood. That's 1. Wood should be cheap as hell on the board, though. Like, people aren't trading anymore. But why should I? You know, I guess that's the problem, is the why should I? And I'll grab a sheep of all things. I haven't been seeing too many sheep being produced. Yeah, there's a pile of them over there, but I don't know. So here, blue. Blue would really like something. We would like to be able to build a town. We need clay to do that. We're asking around. There's not a lot of clay on the board. Clay was rich before. Now there's like none. Oh. Well, we don't want to give too much away. But we also can't really trash compact because we need a wood, a sheep, a grain, and a clay. And the question is anybody willing to part with their clay? Well, the next player to go, if he needs clay, probably wants to have it. So it's going to be harder to get it from him. So let's look at him. He gets at least 2 shots at getting clay. What do I want? Well, I want to build roads. I kind of want clay. It's going to be real hard. So blue, I guess, is just going to... I mean, I could make some kind of 3-for deal. I just don't know that they'll take it, right? I mean, Maybe, but they have to throw more cards away if they get plagued. So, blue is really good at creating wood. So I'm going to turn 4 wood in for a clay. And I'm going to be really unhappy about this. And that pushes me over here. Let me break. Well, let me swap batteries or something. Number 7's is slowed down, and we see this is not filling up heavily. That's okay. I don't think this is the optimal way to end the game. It kind of diverts from the normal settlers. We're on the white player up there. It gets an 11. Well, that's not going to be too many things. Wow. Jesus. A lot of stones. The fixed board creates circumstances that are not normal to a Settlers of Catan game. Things like, hey, look, the stone is sitting on a lot of the 11s. So that a lot of stone comes into the game at once. Usually you only see that where people are clustered in a single space, which happens. And sometimes there is a wave of materials from that. But this game seems almost designed to create that wave. I don't know how I feel about that. Alright, let's try to figure out what the hell white is up to here. They would like to need to build more road. I have Woodport. Yay. Build that going down. Keep building wood because I can trade wood in, you know. Hey, I missed Sheepport. At least I got Woodport. I need to get a city because I can't build towns. So 2 of these get me a grain. 2 of these get me an iron. Maybe I could make better trades, but you know what? Screw it, man. I'm able to rock on my own. And where do we want to put this? Well, honestly, we've got a shortage of clay and of rock, but I like this position best. And that gets me another victory point, and I move on. Could I have done better? Again, maybe I could have facilitated a trade, but what I find is when I'm playing this opposed, I don't generally tend to look for a trade if I've got something, you know, like this in play that I can just rack my points on. I'm not helping anyone else. And not quite that 7, which would have been pretty bad. 3 clay. Wow. Well, we got that clay. Yeah. 4 over here. Production levels getting very, very high. A wood over here. 2 for orange. And we're looking for 6s. I think we got them all. Okay. What's red looking for? Red's looking to get back into the game, and that's hard to do in this game. I already kind of spoke about that. Yeah. So I do not have a good trade here with the red available. I would like to, I guess, get to this position. I do have the capacity to build cities, though. And let's do that. And again, maybe we'll do something else. You know, maybe we'll trade after we do that. I seem to be somehow producing enough clay. I'll upgrade this. It's a victory point. Yep. And now a wood and a clay. I'll build us a road. And that gets us to a 3-to-1 port, which isn't optimal, but it's not that bad. Once you start getting ports, you're in better shape. Of course, nobody's going to refuse to trade with me based on my victory point situation. But they might for other reasons, like their own desires. 9s. Alright, I'm not going to do that yet. Red gets a red. Couple of sheep. A rock for orange. Collecting those up like mad. Nothing over here. Blue gets a sheep. White gets 2 sheep. What are we trying to do with orange? Well, we got to here. That was one of our goals. Wheat port might be interesting. We do produce a lot of wheat. On the other hand, there's this thing and getting the jump on that. So let's move towards that first. Although actually, it does make sense to trade first. Sometimes you might not be able to get the deal that you want, and maybe you can work a different deal that wouldn't require that. So we'll keep that in mind as a possible undo, because what we want to do is we want to get us a grain. Grain has kind of petered out again. The wrong numbers coming up, and since the numbers are associated more with a specific terrain type than they are in a normal game, that's kind of an issue. Okay, well, red doesn't have any wood. They do have grain. They have interest in building towns. I'm going to offer them straight up a wood for a grain. They're not likely to take this. Yeah, they'll take it. Now, orange is in the lead. Somebody should be getting bonuses off of them for this, but I built this here. Gets me another victory point, and I can start building those. Those cost a clay and a rock to build each. I'll certainly build one. Put one of my markers here. That gets me the King's Blessing. Nobody's buying cards. That's so like me. Now, here's the problem. Wait, this is not straight 2 for 1, is it? I may have lied. I take a resource card of my choice that I can trade for 2 for 1 as long as I'm holding this. It's not a straight 2 for 1 trade on anything. So I gotta think real hard. I have a lot of stone, and I'm technically decent at making stone. And I have a fair amount of wood, and I'm good at making wood. Which one do I want to pick? Because I want to get the bonus now. That's why I bought this. Well, I could build a city. Oh, I just went up 2 more victory points. Hey, I'm almost at victory. This game's over. Okay, so yeah, I make it wood. That goes like this. And now I got 2 for 1 on wood. And I buy myself 2 grain. spend 3 of these and drop a city on the board, and I don't care where, and the game is over. Yay! Why are people behind? People are behind because they got squeezed. And that's always the case in Catan. Blue got squeezed between 2 oranges. Now, I feel like the terrain here has effects on it. First of all, that you got one number heavily represented across one terrain type ends up causing more variance, more randomness in terms of what the die rolls actually signify and how they work out. Who else got cut back? Red didn't do too well. I thought red was going to do great. They cut white off. Why didn't they do well? Yeah. 10s didn't come up, but that should have hurt white too, and it did. It's hard to see, you know. It's really hard to see why a particular player didn't do well, especially for me. I have a real difficulty assessing, you know, what Catan does. You know, it's like, yeah, I feel like I understand it, and then I am always kind of baffled at my position at the end of a game. I've won some, but not very many. And of when I play a solo game of it, of what happened. I don't feel like I'm really capable of learning from these games very well in terms of like how to play it again. I generally am good in trading games. I know you saw a lot of avoidance of trade here, and that may actually be something that impacts me in it, because I feel like, yeah, I can wait a turn and I'll probably get this, and then I don't have to pay the premium or whatever. But yeah, I also am very avoidant of these guys. And they can be very potent. White has been hosed for a while by that being there, supposedly. I don't know how many 8s came up. Some must have. Some must have, since that's been there. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, this one feels more random than most boards that you'll get out of Catan. What does this do for the game? A little bit. A little bit. I mean, it made it possible for him to win, right? As did a trade with someone who probably should have been at least asking more. But yeah. All right, we'll send this up and come back with our review.